No, I'm asking a lot. The price of freedom is high. It always has been. And it's a price I'm willing to pay. And if I'm the only one, then so be it. But I'm willing to bet I'm not.
Hello everyone, thanks so much for joining me here today as we get to talk about one of my favorite subjects, comic books. My name is Jose. I love comic books, I love talking about them, I love sharing them with you. Feel free to follow me on social media if you would like. Links are in the description below. I've also posted a link to the Marvel fan site that I have plot synopsis and character bios for these issues. We're going to be doing 4 issues today. We're going to be doing Captain America 193, 194, 195, and 196. These are from 1975 and 1976. These are sort of I'm redoing these videos I had done before. However, I really didn't say anything about the story. I just showed people Kirby's art. I'm not a huge Kirby fan, so I'm gonna get that right off the thing. I'm not a huge Kirby fan. However, I can appreciate how he influenced and his work. I mean, I can appreciate what he did. And so this is part of his Mad Bomb run in Captain America. And this is his second stint in Captain America. He, of course, had it's actually his third stint. He did the first one way back when it was created along with Joe Simon. Then when he was brought back with Stan Lee. And then this. Now, something you're going to notice that in this creative effort, Jack Kirby on this title is very unique. The supporting characters are going to shift considerably. Other than the Falcon, the vast majority of characters that are appearing in this title will be characters created by Jack Kirby during this time period. Jack Kirby wanted just to do his own thing. He tried that at DC. He left Marvel because he was unhappy. He goes to DC. He does his own thing, but it doesn't sell. It just, people are enamored with the usual suspects. So you go to DC, but you don't work on Superman. You don't work on Batman. You do want to do your own thing. People aren't gravitated to it. The art had changed, but Jack Kirby's style is very much in that 60s mold. This is the mid 70s, and art styles have changed. You've got John Byrne coming up. He still hasn't quite got in there, but you got John Byrne coming up. You've got Dave Cockrum. You have a different group of people that are creating characters. And when you look at Kirby's art, and people now kind of go at it and go, oh shucks, yeah, they look at it and see the dynamic poses and this and that, but this work was actually quite dated. Even in 1975, it was quite dated, in my most humble opinion. I could be wrong. Jack Kirby wanted to do his own thing, and it didn't work at DC. He did his own thing. It didn't sell. He was unhappy because his books got canceled because they didn't sell, and he goes back to Marvel. He does Eternals, which also didn't sell, but he does do Captain America, which does do semi well because it is Captain America and it is an established character. So Jack Kirby kind of wanted to do his own thing, so he basically is going to use his own supporting characters. Now, Sharon Carter is going to be an exception, although he is a Kirby co-creation back from Tales of Suspense 75. Neither Red Wing nor Nick Fury, no Peggy Carter, nor any of the Avengers will appear in any of his issues coming up. The only non-Kirby character, or the only non-Kirby created character other than Sam Wilson that makes infrequent appearances will be the Falcon's longtime girlfriend, Layla Taylor. So essentially, Captain America and the Falcon are detached from the rest of the Marvel universe during Kirby's tenure as artist and writer. And he did that on purpose. He just wanted to do his own thing, and I don't blame the guy. The guy had been doing a lot of stuff for Stan Lee, and he just wanted to be in control. I respect that. I really truly do. So we're gonna be looking. We're gonna be starting then here. So we see this cover. John Romita inks this cover here, and you can see Falcon and Captain America being chased by an angry mob. And so we're going to see in the inside. But real quick, so we got the Mad Bomb Screamer in the brain. We get our credits. Jack Kirby, writer, artist, and then Frank Giacoia is his inker. Stan Lee presents Captain America and the Falcon. One of the things he does is he creates a second cover, very 60s like. And so page 1 is essentially like a pinup or a second cover, if you would say, and that's what we got here. So, all right. Now, real quick, I'm not gonna go read word for word as it appears as I normally tend to do. So I'm going to narrate a lot. So we're going to be here at Layla Taylor's apartment. This is Layla Taylor. She's the girlfriend of Sam Wilson, and they're making using the language brewing Java. So anyway, these two are going to arm wrestle while she gets drinks ready for them. And then suddenly you can see here that something's happening, and these two are going to start fighting. Falcon gets it too, and you can just see Captain America here. I'll break you, Falcon, and he's like, "Just try it, Whitey." And next thing you know, they really are fighting. And Layla Taylor's gonna try to break them up, and they realize, wait, what's going on? And even Falcon says, you were acting like fools. But Layla is also hit with it, and she grabs a knife, and so Falcon's gonna try and wrestle it away here. And then a brick comes through the wall here, so Captain America is going to go and explain it. He's gonna go outside and sees that a mob is essentially going crazy outside. So we're gonna have a couple of panels here or a couple of pages here of Captain America dealing with this mob. And you can see that it's going crazy. So this is sort of how they act in Philadelphia every time that they win a championship or they lose a championship. So essentially, he's depicting Philadelphia. And I jest, but Philadelphia is man, what is it with their sports fans out there? Burn it down if they win and burn it down if they lose. That's their attitude. So this is what I mean about his art. It does look very dated. There's a head missing, or is this the head? I don't know what this is supposed to be, but it just, one of my things with Kirby, and I am trying to be respectful because I know a lot of people like him, is everything looks so stiff. Everything there's no softness. I always compare it like everybody is drawn like they have to go to the bathroom. It's just stiff, and I know he does, and he puts people in motion and all that kind of stuff. It's funny stepping on his head. So Captain America has basically run over, and he's now trying to get up, and he sees this little device here, and it's affecting him. So he comes to the conclusion that this is the thing, and so he's gonna go to it and grab it, and you can see, I got it, haha. So this is the device, and this guy says, hey, drop it, I want it. And Captain America, he's about to get smashed in the head, and Captain America is going to use his shield to smash this thing. And so this was the thing that was affecting everybody. And so you can see everyone is sort of going back to normal here. and he sees the town here that's just basically been demolished. Um, so we got a nice image here of this page. The Kirby dots, which is a staple of Jack Kirby here. The other thing that I don't like, and I know he doesn't ink himself, but he does very hard pencils, so they are really inking how I've seen his pencils. So he does very weird the way he has the way he spots the blacks, I guess, is very weird. But you can definitely tell when it's Kirby. It's his style, and you can definitely tell. You can see it here on this dude's leg. So, all right, so we can see the destruction. This thing is gonna fall on this poor lady here, but the Falcon is going to rescue her. And so they're wondering what all this happened. So we get a shield agent here that is going to join Captain America and the Falcon. And he tells them that this thing is called a mad bomb. And so he is going to take them to a secret base. It's called Mad Bomb Control. And he says, we're going in. And so this is what I mean. So they get into the base, and you know the rules. Flash your ID. And this guy says, relax the trigger, men. I brought 2 VIPs. It's very dated. He's writing like it's the 60s or the 50s. It's not evolving. And that's one of my things. And I in comic books, I comic books have grown up quite a bit. It is still nice to see these things, but it just looks a little cheesy, especially in 2025 stuff. I was born in the 70s. I was a year old when this thing came out. So obviously I didn't grow up in the 70s, even though I was born in the 70s. I grew up in the 80s. And by the time I started reading comic books, I was well into the John Byrne and Walter Simonson era. Now, a lot of people will say Walter Simonson is a Kirby clone, and I disagree with that, although stylistically it's a little bit Kirby. Walter Simonson is completely, not completely, but he's pretty the styles are nowhere near the same thing, particularly even in the writing. But Jim Lee had come up, but when I was in high school, I was well into the Jim Lee, Mark Silvestri, and Todd McFarlane era, that the so-called Image era. Even though I wasn't really into Eric Larson. Now, Eric Larson is closer to Kirby than anybody else. I do believe Jack Kirby and Eric Larson could clone each other. I swear to you. And so, and Rob Liefeld, though I'm not a huge Liefeld guy either, but he was popular. So, anyway, so the Falcon says, "Man, these jocks sure are nervous. I'm not even gonna sneeze." And I love this guy. Spare the humor. Pass on. So, it's hokey language, and in the 70s, you had already had Denny O'Neil on Batman, and you had David Michelini or Michelini in Iron Man with Bob Layton. You had Chris Claremont taking over X-Men and doing some stuff. So the writing had also evolved. So, even in this time, this kind of language, this kind of thing, it does feel like you're reading something out of the 50s and 60s, even though we're in the 70s. So he tells this guy, hey, go through here, and they're going to go through this maze, I'm telling you. And it's really dumb when we get to it, but what the purpose of the maze is. So there's this gas here and missiles and all these kind of things here. And Cap is able to protect them with the shield. They don't explode, though. And the walls are closing in, and they're trying to keep them. and they're like, there has to be a way to stop it. And so they see this little thing, and so he presses the controls, and the floor opens up, and so you can see when they get there, hey, the Falcon says, there's a light ahead, let's move. And so they come out of what's called the panic course, and they said they did it in record time. Of course, Captain America arrives, and this is Henry Kissinger, but they're just gonna call him Henry. And so he says he'll answer the questions after if they survive the final hurdle. And so he has to fight these people as well. Now he finally tells them to stop, and all this was to prove that it really was Falcon and Captain America. That's the whole point of that thing. So, all right. So he tells them of these of the bombs here, and there was Peanut, and then so look at the security. Fingerprinting in the 70s. That's pretty cool here. One is Peanut, and the other one is Dumpling. But there's a third one that is called Big Daddy. He's gonna show them a picture of it, and the Big Daddy is a mad bomb big enough to destroy the United States, and they think that it's gonna go into the Centennial here. So he's gonna show him a picture of it and lets him know that this was smuggled by a shield agent and it was killed in the process. And so look at Cap as he looks at it. Big Daddy, I'm telling you. And so designed to destroy the United States. And so they have to find a way to stop it. And so thus ends the issue. So, all right, but we're going to continue on. And of course, now we've got 194 and cataclysmic Kirby action. And I have to tell you something. So I know people think I hate him. I don't hate him. I'm just not a big fan. But I do not hate Jack Kirby. But I will, like I said, I give the guy some props. Everything is action with the dude. Everything. And so I understand why people that grew up in the 50s and 60s and saw this things, people that grew up within the Marvel universe during that time, I can understand why they love Jack Kirby so much. So see Cap and the Falcon battle for their lives against the Trojan Horde. And so here we go. So Cap and the Falcon are going to be receiving the maximum charge of this brain bolt machine that's going to prepare them for their upcoming mission here. And so it's supposed to be able to protect them from Big Daddy, which is, as you know, supposed to create this cataclysmic everyone's just basically supposed to go mad and angry and all that kind of stuff. So this is supposed to be able to get them. Look at this. This is so, I don't know. Some people just, it's just, it's so hokey, but hey. And so you then see, I like Crackle, and you see all the Kirby Crackle that is going to go with this. And wait, look, they're alive. And so it knocks our heroes out here. And so this guy here is General Hessian, and he's here to see this dude here. And this is William Torrey. And William Torrey wants to return the United States to a pre-American Revolution aristocracy. And so this comes into with Kirby always had a thing, and you could see it if you read his New Gods at DC. He had a thing where he truly defines good versus evil, and good men and evil men and all that kind of stuff. He had a thing with the little guy, and this guy here, of course, looks at the painting of his ancestor. He says, an aristocrat of the finest quality. This country had aristocracy then, men born to be served, men who lived above the common rabble. And so this guy says, the Declaration of Independence did away with the elite, but we shall change that all at once, says the general. Now, here's the thing. That's BS. The elite still exists. No, I don't believe in conspiracies. But the rich, there's a reason that these corporations, the new elite are the corporations, the head of these corporations, they get their way. It doesn't matter whether you have a blue president or a red president. The rich are the rich. So this whole thing that there's no aristocrats, no, that's not true. There is. And so you can see here that Gershon, or Hessian, is supposed to do a coup. He says, when the coup is accomplished, I shall destroy that document on primetime television. Democracy shall die. Ancestor worship may drive you to change history. I'm content to do it for personal gain. And Tory says, the world is crawling with your kind. We Tories have no need for money. We were born rich. We were born to power. So you're gonna see a lot of this with this in Kirby. So he pulls out this thing, this picture here, and that picture is of this soldier here. His name was Stephen Rogers of the Continental Army. Now, this eventually will be retconned into actually being the real Steve Rogers, who ended up going into the past. So it's kind of funny. But he's the one that that caused the aristocrats to go away, according to this dude here. And so there was a duel. Steve Rogers won, and he's going to take his vengeance on his the current Steve Rogers, who's a direct ancestor. It's actually the same person, only he hasn't done it yet. So, all right. And Steve and the Falcon wake up, and Steve says, I had a dream about my ancestor Stephen Rogers. He fought in the revolution, what, that just out of nowhere. Hooray for him. Chances are that he owned a farm with a lot of singing black slaves. So of course, that this was a big deal for Jack Kirby, and kudos to him. He really was in a big supporter of civil rights. So kudos for Kirby for that. And so Steve's like, it is things may know nothing about slaves, and the Falcon's like, whatever, man. My family still worked in the farms, and Steve probably agrees with him. But it's a time when men began to turn away from injustice. It took 200 years, Falcon, but this country's grown up, and so Falcon doesn't want to hear none of it. And so the doctor interrupts and says, you survived the test, now you have to survive the enemy. And Steve Rogers is like, we faced a few tough ones in the past. And Falcon agrees. And so they're going to perform some tests on them to make sure that everything is going swell. After everything, the doctor finds them fit, and he says, good hunting. And so, I tell you what, though, again, I'm going to give Kirby some more props. The dude had an imagination. So that part is 100%. The dude had an incredible imagination of the stuff he could come up with. So now Captain and the Falcon are wearing these flight suits, and they're going into the South Dakota Badlands. And so, by the way, I've been to the South Dakota Badlands. They're absolutely beautiful here. And so when they land, they see this mutated giant holding this boulder just out of nowhere. It just got to keep these things moving, I guess, here. So they end up crashing into the poor guy here. And so they crash through these rocks, but it turns out that they're not rocks. They're like made out of foam or something. See how they're able to toss it. And um so it looks like he sprained his hand, and Steve says he's childlike. I think it was playing with those rocks. And so suddenly these guards come through because there was a secret base there that they just happened to go through. And so these are royalists, mercenaries. They also want to return America. So they're part of that dude's uh that guy that's like the army that he has created, although he looks like an egghead. So and so they use stun guns to get this dude back inside, and he's like, "How did that dumb animal get out? Someone will answer for this. Prod him this way. We'll handle him." Um, and so he says, Captain America says, "What's of us?" He says, "You're gonna get a treatment." Falcon says, "I don't think I like what this is," and so he punches the dude and knocks him out. And Steve grabs the blaster away and starts shooting at them here. And so they quickly dispatch these guys. Again, Kirby is good at action poses, action shots, a lot of movements here. And someone gets the drop on Steve and tells him to put down the weapon. But then Sam gets the drop on this guy and takes care of him here. So Falcon and Captain America are gonna get away, and this guy is like, "No, you're not." So he shoots at them and hits them. This is a nice little panel. Again, some of the Kirby crackle showing them in pain. And so they're down, and so they said the treatment will determine whether they become soldiers or part of our freak labor force. So that's what that creature was here. And so they said, "Hurry up, Hessian and Tori are not paying us to spend all day with snooping shield agents." And so he orders them to get the base covered up again. And so they have a whole thing. This reminds me of G.I. Joe and Cobra, how they just, who has money to spend on this, really? And so Falcon and Captain America come too. And so it turns out that these guys are the shield agents that have been missing. And those treatments have made them into these freakish, and that's that labor force here. So, and so typical fashion of telling your whole plan. This guy tells them how they did, how they turned them into the freaks, and how they go into the treatment. And so Captain America's like, "Well, no sense in pretending anymore." So they take off their clothes, revealing their uniform inside, and it's time to undo everything. And so this ends the issue. The world of 1984. It's referring to the book. So. And so we are two issues down, 2 issues to go. Captain America 195. This is the last issue of the year 1975 for Captain America. The next one will be in 1976. So, and here we go. So another, it's a good. I like his like I said, I like his actions. To me, Jack Kirby would be better off as a layout if somebody else would actually do the finishes, but it is what it is. And then look at the noose. Really, who just puts a little noose like this? All right. So these guys are going to you can see them, they're going crazy. It can happen here, the savage world of 1984, which would be 10 years away at during this time. So of course I would have been 10 years old in 1984. So all right. And um we get a bit of Captain America at his he's oh, here's his wings. I was going to say he's missing his wings here. And one of the things that always struck me as funny is uh, Jack Kirby cannot get eyes correctly. And if you look, not just here, and this here is more noticeable because the splash page, but his eyes never match up at all. You can see this one's got the big, it's like he's got one eye bigger than the other. I mean, he doesn't even try to get the eyes the same. So, all right. And so here we get our credits here. And so Captain America and the Falcon are about to bust out of here. I like how they said manual labor pool. This is this really does give me some 50s and 60s vibes. It truly does. So all right. And so after they break out, they start to fight. Now, I will say this about Jack Kirby because I do want to say more positive things than negative things about Kirby. The guy really does go out of his way to create action, and his stuff is full of action. You can see it there. And so they come to stop him from, turning this guy into a beast. I like this. Who are these fools? And so that this they have the authority of the U.S. government. This guy's like, we're creating a new one, and so you're gonna see now him turning into one of those savage-looking creatures, and so they have to be strong for the new to be that new labor force. And so he explains here, when the change is over, he will have a weak mind and a strong back, which will enable him to labor long and hard for the new society. He will ask for nothing and do everything for the ruling elite, and in turn, he will receive care, food, and lodging, the perfect arrangement. And of course, Captain America is like for an animal who must carry the burdens of elite parasites. And so this guy, of course, says there have been those who have always been born to be served. We used to call them the oh my God, what a hard word, aristocracy. And so the Falcon, of course, so you're going to bring it all back, the masters, and of course he's interrupted. What? What faces? I tell you. And this guy's about to light up a cigarette. And so this guy says, don't be so dramatic, Falcon. There'll be no slaves, merely a classified labor force which will live and fight for the benevolent rulers. And of course, this is the Cheer Chadwick. She's the daughter of the man in charge. And so she's like, golly, that's what Papa says. And so here she's also holding a cigarette. Not the most I don't know. I tell you, people, I understand if you love Jack Kirby, but whew. All right. So, and so she takes a fancy to Cap and the Falcon here. The soldiers arrive and says, "Hey, get out of the way so we can deal with them." And she tells them, "Hey, you can't give orders. My papa pays your salaries. You work for us." And he's like, "Please get out of the way." And she's like, "Shut up. Can't you see these men intrigue me? Can't you see they're fun? The elite decides who gets shot in this place, and we don't take sass from the hired help," as she smacks him. Okay. So, all right. So keep in mind this base is under the Badlands. Anyway, she tells everybody to leave. I don't know how they built this under the Badlands. It's such, and the Badlands is so beautiful, by the way. If you've never been to the Badlands, it's I recommend you going to the South Dakota Badlands and then to the Black Hills where Mount Rushmore is. It's beautiful. So I used to live in South Dakota for about 5 years, but I lived in Sioux Falls, and the Badlands and the Black Hills are in the other side of the state. So it takes like 6 hours to get there. And so she tells everybody that everybody will have a place to go: the white collar force, the repair and maintenance force, the military tactical labor force. So they everybody will have a place in this new society here. And so and they're gonna go to level 5. That's where my surprise is, she says. And so they wonder if the Big Daddy and the Mad Mom, if Big Daddy's here, will this, will this lead them to uh, getting the Mad Bomb? So, and so, this is kind of like my thing. It just, uh, Kirby's work just looks so dated. But anyway, so we're not getting a reveal yet. So he says, "So this is your surprise," and of course he says, "It isn't Big Daddy, blast it, but I must admit it's the Shocker." And the Falcon is like, "Well, the face of the future. Who would believe it if they saw it?" And she's like, "There. That's what things will be like when Papa rules the world." And so Shield's looking for Captain America, but they say that this is where they were when they broke communications, but they of course can't see any sign of him. And so they go back to the base here, and they're just weird. Like, how can they disappear? Everybody disappears there, and this guy just says, there's clean tracks. Everything's been wiped. There's no sign anybody's been there. And so they're gonna use this thing called the Hound Dog, which is this thing right here, and this guy's getting up through it. And so this thing is basically uses underground radar, and so they're gonna take a look to see what is underneath them. And so down, this is what oh my god, it's um uh, I'm just not a huge Kirby guy, and I've admitted it, and I hope you can forgive me for, if you love Kirby and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not telling you not to love Kirby. Keep loving Kirby. He just doesn't work for me. And so here we got a couple of people that they're like, freedom is a lie. Little people can't run the world. The elite can run the world. They can take care of us. They can help us. Guide us. Tell us what to do. Oh my God, this is so even the language is so campy. And look at this flag with the hang thing here. So and so I love this. This is AI, and so she says, Falcon is like, "Who is this dude? I've never seen him before." And she says, "He isn't real. He's just a composite face put together by a computer." This is the 70s. This is amazing. The imagination of Jack Kirby is second to none. This part I will always agree with. Jack Kirby's imagination, Jack Kirby's action poses, Jack Kirby's kineticness. I agree on all that stuff. But when I look at some of these other things, I don't know. So anyway, Captain America says, if the leader doesn't exist, then the elite runs the whole show. They offer these followers an image while they wield the power. So, and so they're using basically propaganda here. And look at the people. Just, I love this freedom freak. And so, basically, it's true though. People are so easily manipulated. Look at social media. Just put something that, and then just this mob mentality comes over it. Human beings do not change their stripes. This is how people behave. They truly are, and this is, people are very easy to be controlled, and so, um, so Captain America says, "We're not impressed." Um, and she's like, "What would impress you?" Look at Falcon. Tell her, Cap. And so he tells her about the mad bomb. You know, he was looking for it, and she's like, "So why should that concern me? Papa says the elite must think of its own welfare. All others are just rabble." And so this guy comes in and pushes them, and she's like, "Don't damage them. You'll ruin their value." So um get up, rookie. Let's see what you're made of. uh and so and Captain America says it is female. Oh, yep, it is. I missed the boobs. And so um look at this. This is, oh my god. Okay. It's all right. So here we go. And so we're going to have another fight. And so um she is going to take care of them again. A lot of action, so you can't complain about the no action. This isn't a Chris Claremont, although I shouldn't say it. I am, by the way, I do have a playlist with all X-Men that I've been covering. I love Chris Claremont. It just is very wordy and a lot of drama, and you can see that she's gonna dispatch our heroes here. And she says, they're not gonna make it. They're not killers. They'll never make the team, much less survive the arena. And of course, she says, "No, I've seen them fight the soldiers. These men are good." And so we learn her name here is Tinkerbell, and she says it's a waste of time and people to, uh, send these two. And she's like, "Hey, we've got time and people to waste." And so she doesn't disobey the elite. And so if that's what she wants, and that's what she wants here, um and she goes, "I'm certain they'll put in a good show." So Tinkerbell's gonna take them, and she's gonna call her dad here. And so she says, "Yes, Papa, I heard them clearly. These two masked men asked me about the mad bomb." And over the thing it says, "It doesn't matter. These agents will soon be dead. However, the great mad bomb has been installed and its designated place, waiting for the country's bicentennial hour celebration. And when that hour comes, the mad bomb will be activated. Freedom in America will vanish forever. Our elite will take its rightful place." And so next issue is Killing Derby. And so we've got one more issue we're going to be covering. And here we go with 196. Again, action, poses, and the like here. And he's riding a skateboard. Okay, so shooting at, so just, hey, as I mentioned before, imagination is not Jack Kirby's problem. He's got imagination for days. So there's a change into the covers, and you may not have noticed. So if you look here, Jack Kirby actually drew the little things here. So one of the things is that if you notice, Red Wing is no longer in there. So all right. And so we get to the last issue we're covering for today, and it is called Kill Derby. And Cap is fighting these other big armed soldiers. And so we notice here that it says editor, writer, and artist. And it says Marv Wolfman, consulting editor. I think Jack Kirby probably wanted a second opinion. This is one of the things Jim Shooter was going to get rid of. You can no longer edit yourself in when you were an editor doing these things here. So Captain America is doing the kill derby. This is what this whole thing is. This issue is mostly all action, so it should run rather quickly here. And so this is that thing that they wanted him to, I guess, join. So of course they cheat. They use this gas canister to knock him out, and then they take his shield away, and they take him into the brig and toss him with the Falcon. And so the Falcon gets up. He's like, "Oh man, I was gassed as well." So, all right, helps Captain America kind of get back to his feet here. We get a bit of an exposition of the previous issues, kind of to get the bomb here, and that they're gonna have no choice, kind of, but he realized that they have the shield, so they're gonna need to try and get it. Captain America doesn't want to make it a symbol of shame, so you can see here the derby's about to start here, and how do they get all these people underneath the Badlands? Where are the cars parked? How come they can't find this place? It's just and the rollerblading, well, in skateboards though. So the lady says this would be oh my god, I already forgot her name, Cheer. And she's like, "I demand a delay. 2 players I sponsored are missing from these teams." And they explain here, but then I think this is supposed to come after. So explain yourselves. This young lady represents your betters. They're troublemakers. They refuse to compete. And so she's like, "Hey, I want them." And so this guy says, "Tinkerbell, this is number 2. They're canceling the derby unless you can get those 2 dum-dums to play." And so she's gonna tell them that if you want the shield, then you're gonna have to fight for it. So they have no choice but to join the derby. And so meanwhile, they're still looking for the base. Moving on to see if I can't believe you would have such a big base. By the way, the Badlands don't look like this. You can definitely tell that he wasn't even using photo references. The Badlands of South Dakota do not look like this. They're not rock boulders. And so they say it's all negative. And there's no rocks in the Badlands. The Badlands is not a rocky place. But they found something. He's got a bogey and it's big. That's all it says. And so here comes Cap and the Falcon. They're going to participate, and they're also in the skateboards here. And Cheer's like, "I look forward to seeing you in action." And so they said, "We're not concerned with amusing your new society," says Cap. And the Falcon says, "We just plan to survive and cut out." And Cheer says, "You'll change your attitude about the new society when that pot of gold is within your grasp. Human greed is the keystone of our success." It makes sense. Still can't draw eyes. And so here we go. This is the take on the roller derby, which is quite violent. And so, except here, you got people with weapons here. So, all right. So we're just kind of go through these. Really not much to tell, or you can see the action speaks for itself. And so here you can see they take Falcon down here. Cap's gonna help him get out, and so off they go. And so he's looking for his shield here as Cap is just leveling everybody looking for the shield here. This looks funny. And so Cap punches him, and here they go to where they spotted that bogey. And he's like, turn every rock over. The small ones too. What? That's oh my god. And so they found the hound dog, and the guy is missing it, and so they're like, check out these rocks here. What? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so Cap comes to, and look at this. This is gonna about to mow everybody down here, and Falcon uses some kind of baton or something to level that thing here. So we find the shield finally. This guy doesn't want to give it up, and Cap is like, all right, mother. And so off he goes, and he's going to fight. So we're going to be done now. I've done 4 issues. So the rocks are burning will be next. So next we'll do another 4 issues heading into issue 200. So, all right. So Captain America 193, 194, 195, and 196, written and penciled by Jack Kirby. This time, as I mentioned before, I had done these before, but I gave you no plot. I'm just showed you the art, talked about it, and just went on my way. This time, I actually took the time to narrate this story for you. So it's all sort of going to be one gigantic story. So if you love Jack Kirby, I hope I didn't offend you. Again, I'm just not a big fan. You can be a big fan. It's okay. Art is subjective. You can like it. You can love it. It's all right. So it doesn't hurt my feelings if you think Jack Kirby is the greatest artist that ever lived. So mine is Jim Lee. I love Jim Lee. Jim Lee can do no wrong. So like and subscribe. I do thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed this. Goodbye.